Myth number one, the warm market. To really appreciate that, let me explain something really quickly. I know these are really dark. I hope you can see them. But there's a rule of marketing and advertising that reigns supreme. It was one of the very first rules that I learned as a marketing student. And that's the rule, or I should say the law of 1%. And essentially what that says is no matter how good your message is, no matter how good your product or service is, if you're sending that out to the mass population, you can only ever expect about 1% to respond to it. Now we're talking about non-targeted individuals. Doesn't matter what you're selling, only about 1% of the people in the room are going to be interested in what you're going to be talking about. Maybe a little bit more, but only 1% will actually buy. That is the marketing rule of thumb. Doesn't matter if you're doing large broadcasts over the internet, if you're a telemarketer, if you're a door-to-door salesperson, which of course we don't see anymore, or you do direct mail. 1% is the rule of thumb that every company looks at for a return on their advertising investment. The law of 1% also imposes itself in network marketing. Let me show you. The average person's warm market is right around 200, 250 people. We know that from social psychologists or sociologists. The network marketing average enrollment for every company across the board, this hasn't changed in years, is 2.5 distributors. So 250 people in a warm market divided by 2.5 distributors, that's the average. Now some are going to do better, some are not going to do as well. But on average, that's what it is. That's 1%. So you see the law of 1% working in network marketing. My warm market, 650 people. I sponsored 18 people, just a teeny bit better than average. 12 of them quit right away. So I was left with 650 divided by 6 is 1%, maybe a little bit less. So the law of 1% dominates all marketing. This is why 99%, or one of the reasons why 99% plus of the people in network marketing fail, because the warm market is just not large enough and it's not targeted. I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. The next one is leading with the business opportunity. Now, some of you may have to take a deep breath, sit back, hold on to your hat or whatever you need to do to collect yourself. This is going to go against everything that you're being taught. Let me explain how this works. We're going to go behind the MLM curtain. I'm going to show you what MLM companies do not want you to know. I'm going to talk about the IDS, or the income disclosure statement. Now, most network marketers have never even heard of an income disclosure statement. Basically, what an income disclosure statement is a declaration by the network marketing company of the business that they're doing, how many people are involved in their network marketing business. It breaks down the payouts, who's getting paid what, how many people in each rank, and how much they make. Also, these numbers that they use are very skewed. And I'm not saying there's any illegal conspiracy or anything like that going on, but they intentionally use mathematics that don't give you an accurate representation of what's happening. Now, even though there's some 400 or so network marketing companies operating in North America, almost all of them do produce an income disclosure statement. It's not law that they do, at least not yet, but it will be. And they certainly don't toss these things out for people to see them. Fortunately, there was a guy by the name of Robert Fitzpatrick. He is the biggest consumer advocate for network marketers, and he is the United States Federal Trade Commission's hitman when it comes to testifying against illegal pyramid schemes and so forth that masquerade as network marketing companies. And he's the guy that actually translated the income disclosure statement for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of these income disclosure statements. Like I said before, I'm going to prove to you that 99.4% of network marketers don't make any money. Now again, it's not doom and gloom stuff. I'm just going to give you some facts that will help you put a lot of this into perspective. So what I did is I pulled out some income disclosure statements from some very large network marketing companies. Now, by the way, these income disclosure statements are absolutely true numbers, and they may reflect poorly on some of these companies. Now, I'm not trying to pick on these companies or saying that they're bad. These are just the companies that I decided to choose because they're very large. First one's going to be Arbonne, very successful network marketing company. And by the way, when we're going through this, you'll see that the income disclosure statements have various dates. It doesn't matter how new or how old these are. Network marketing companies almost never change their pay plans, and when they do, the mathematical formula doesn't alter what you're about to see here. So it doesn't matter if we have a new one or an old one. Okay, so what Robert Fitzpatrick did that really gave us a lot of help is he made these things understandable. And the biggest thing that he did to make them understandable is to do two things. One, he created a mean average, rather than just an overall average. Now, if you remember a mean average from 7th grade math, you'll know that that goes over a more real average when you're talking about large groups of people. And he bulked them down, or I should say chunked them down into groups of 10,000. So we can ask ourselves, what is 10,000, a chunk of 10,000 people in a network marketing company look like statistically? That's what we want to know. Okay, so the highest rank in Arbonne is National Vice President. Out of 10,000 people that signed up thinking they're going to make the big money, 4 made it. I want to show you this down here. The mean average, again, this is the true average. Now, the mean average payment to the bottom 99.2% of Arbonne distributors is $1.68 per week. This is before expenses and taxes are deducted. This doesn't even include the monthly expenditure to remain active. Now, again, this isn't, I'm not picking on Arbonne. All network marketing companies are going to look like this. This is just the one I started out with. Okay, next one, Michalek. 10,000 distributors. Their top level executive director, 30 of 10,000 actually made it. Look down here. Again, the mean average payment to the bottom 99% of Michalek distributors who remained active for 1 full year, which most don't. Most quit in about 90 days. $9.66 per week. And that's before expenses and taxes were deducted, resulting in a significant loss. Next, NuSkin. Blue Diamond is their top level. Out of 10,000, 16 people make it. Here are the rest of the ranks right here. The mean average payment to the bottom 99% of NuSkin distributors, $7.43 per week. Okay, again, before taxes and expenses are deducted, resulting in a significant loss. Next, Free Life. Royal Ambassador, 17 out of 10,000 made it. The mean average payment to the bottom 97% who remained active for 1 full year, $16.57 per week. Cyberwize. Diamond is their top level. 10,000 people signed up thinking they're going to make the big money. 1 person made it. Cyberwize.com's disclosure statement says that 67% of all their distributors made no commission. And here's something very interesting right here. Out of each 10,000 group of salespeople or distributors, the top 4 individuals earned as much as the bottom 9,000 combined. So just like every other network marketing company, you have a lot of people down here, big dreams, big plans, big hopes, working real hard, and this group of people right here are reaping all the rewards, and the chances of us getting there are almost nil. Okay, so that's the summary. Now, I know that painted a pretty negative picture, and I want to address something very, very quickly here. Newbie distributors, the ones that have stars in their eyes still, and they're still walking on cloud 9, are going to look at this information and just go, that doesn't apply to me. My company's pay plan is so much better. My company's product is really, really hot. That's not going to be my outcome. That income disclosure statement series that we just saw looks the same from one company to the next. I could have pulled up any company, 300 of them, where we have income disclosure statements. They all look the same. The reason for that is the mathematical formula that's used to create network marketing payment matrices are the same. Doesn't matter if it's a binary or a breakaway or whatever it is, they're all the same. Okay, now let's get into the meat and potatoes of why I showed you this. What can we take away from this? Well, 99% of network marketers are not making any money. Why is that? Because 99% of network marketers are all doing the same thing. They're doing things that don't work. They're doing things that worked in the 50s, that were created by Amway and Shackley and, all the older companies that pioneered this stuff. Okay, marketing to family and friends really did work in the 50s, but it was a totally different culture. We were post-World War II. Men went to work, women stayed at home. We knew our neighbors, our friends were right next door. We knew the people the next block over. It was a totally different culture. Back then, marketing to family and friends made pretty good sense. Those days are long gone.